So Illuminaughtii is stuck in a corner and there is no way that she can get out. She's still embroiled in this very messy lawsuit that she genuinely believes that she can win. The Illuminaughtii brand has been totally wiped off of the platform, and now she's resorted to pettiness, embarrassment, and potentially some behind the scenes movements. So let's break down what is going on with Illuminaughtii. Hello everyone, welcome or welcome back. I'm Jake Baz, and today we're going to be looking at Blair because she's gone a little bit loopy. The past few months haven't treated her well in the slightest with everything that's been going on with her, which kind of do twist the narrative and show exactly how Illuminaughtii is. Blair or Illuminaughtii is a YouTuber who covered shady business practices as well as multi-level marketing schemes, which now, I guess, is ironic because of her shady character that she presents everywhere. I'm sure that you all remember how she got stuck in this mess, but just a quick reminder. She called out Legal Eagle for plagiarism with this tweet and by design embarrassed herself and created the worst YouTube situation for responses I've seen in history. It turned out all of her videos were Wikipedia copy and pastes, and this got very thoroughly exposed across the entire YouTube commentary scene. Her persona was fake and dull, and throughout all of these dramas and situations that went on, she came across as a liar, a grandstander, and despite how well she thinks she presents herself, a total content thief. There's been lawsuits, there's been lots of drama, there's been responses, and there's also been potentially new channels pop up which are related to Blair. So today I think we need to assess the true scale of the Illuminaughtii disaster, and also think about, well, where has she gone? Why has she disappeared? There's also been quite a lot of new information that's been brought to the fore around Oz Media and the entire lawsuit that's going on, as well as some of the stuff that's been missed over the previous weeks. So we got a lot to cover, so if you enjoyed the video, please do hit the like and sub. It would help me out a lot, and I'd love to see you back. So firstly, I thought that we'd talk about the money troubles that Illuminaughtii has been going through, because there's been a lot of things peddled online that have been saying that she's been struggling, including myself. But after looking into it further, I really don't think that's the case for her. And I think truly she will go down with the ship. Most of the things that I've seen that have come up around this situation is because of the current lawsuit that she has had filed against her by the actual state that she's living in, as this really does insinuate that she is struggling for funds and really don't know where to go with them. As you can see, this is by Marshall Recovery LLC to Blair, and this is essentially because Blair has not paid her taxes. So what happened was Blair didn't pay her taxes, so then the government started getting a little bit angry and they ended up selling off the debt to this debt collector who is now going to sue Blair in court for this $3,000. And this is from 2022, so it has been going on for quite a while. This obviously leads a lot of people to believe that, well, if she can't pay $3,000 worth of taxes, she must be so broke, especially with everything that's gone on around the lawsuit, this, that, the other. This has also been popping up in her lawsuit situation with Oz Media, Wonderstruck, and Felixthekitkat, where she has been essentially saying that they are the sole reason why she has lost all this revenue. It's nothing to do with anything else going on contextually. No other YouTubers, just them three. And one of them isn't even a YouTuber, so, I mean, she's trying, bless her. This has led to multiple statements within her actual lawsuit, which is around the amount of money that she's lost, saying, for example here, defendant's statement caused special damages as evidenced by the fact that the plaintiff's revenue dropped more than 60% after the My Response video was published from 27,000 to 10,000. And the funniest thing around this thing is that she really doesn't think that. Like, there is no way in hell that she actually thinks that that is the sole reason why, but she's just trying to whataboutery it so that she can get it pushed through court. Look at me, I've lost so much money. Don't mention anything else about anyone else who has potentially caused this. Not anyone else has done that. It's petty and it's intentional. But after looking into this and thinking about it quite a while, I don't think this is the case at all, and she does not have money troubles in any way, shape or form. And the reason, and the main reason around it is, well, look at what she's doing to Oz right now. Currently, Oz in the lawsuit is spending a lot of money, going up as far as $10,000 a month. And if you think that Blair, considering that she's attacking not just one person but three people, is not going to have some lawyers which are able to actually do a pretty good job considering how leaky this entire thing is, she's going to be paying a lot more. I can promise you that. This also leaks into what Oz Media media is thinking about it, as we will get onto, because he really thinks that, well, this is actually just a personal vendetta. And if you go back through all the lawsuits, it makes a lot of sense. This is also failing to mention the $300,000, as you can see, crypto farm that Blair is currently using. It's clear that she has quite a lot of disposable funds in potential avenues, so I can imagine that even though she's had a dead channel, she's not getting the views that she used to get. She's not getting anything, really, if I'm honest. But she will not really be in a terrible financial position, and it only further bolsters the idea that this is really a personal vendetta. For Oz Media, this situation has become very pivotal in his life. It has totally destroyed his life, totally destroyed everything around it. It really has become a very self-consuming thing for him. When his part 1 of the response video dropped, he put a comment that was pinned that said, "Update for now, all I can really state is that Blair has shown interest in talking, but that's really where it starts and ends. More information will be available at the end of the week." Which then clearly turned to the title says it all, because he changed it from the response to part 1. All Oz wants is a resolution for this, and he can't find it because he's fighting someone who genuinely, really, I believe, just wants to destroy him. And it's very obvious that he wasn't not trying. I mean, there's tweets here, there's a full response video. He tried his best, but Blair seems to want other things. The latest update that we did have around the situation up until this week was this one, saying that part 2 is still happening because of the legal system, and he's an unruly beast. It's causing a lot more issues of him getting it out, because you need to remember everything needs to be legally vetted, so he can't get in more trouble than what he already is, even though he shouldn't be in any trouble, full stop. The American court system is just brilliant. But then very fortunately for us, one of my friends, Iilluminaughtii, he posted a video around Illuminaughtii where he actually interviewed Oz Media around the current status of what's going on, and there are some very interesting bits in this, which not only highlight the problems and situation that is currently going on, but also it paints Illuminaughtii once again in a terrible light. When asked around how everything is going on with Oz currently, he responded with this, saying that a lot has changed with a lot more stress, because there was hope at one point of it being dismissed early so he could have his life back, but unfortunately is in it for the long haul. And there was a lot of hope at first for this to finally be fixed and be on with, but obviously that's not how it's turned out, because the courts will favour in the plaintiff. Blair has brought forward this, so she clearly thinks that she's got a claim, and the judge is going to give her that, which is unfortunate, but it's how it works. It's a bit of an agonising stress because there's nothing I can do to get over with. I'm forced to wait and play on the legal system that could very well take years. Instead of spending time with my friends, family and my partner, I'm forced to watch an email inbox with the dread of the next legal update. It's consumed his life, his soul, his entire body. Everything is around this situation, because that's exactly what Blair wanted. Blair wants this long drawn out process where Oz Media's life can be essentially destroyed. We definitely know that Blair has some petty in her. That is definitely the case. She's got quite a bit of that in the locker, and she's going to go full force with this one, because essentially she probably sees Oz as destroying everything around her and then making her channel totally incompatible with anything going on. It's not the fact that she plagiarized, it's not the fact that she was very low effort with her slop that she was putting on there. It was because of Oz Media. This is everything. I really think that quite a lot of YouTubers, what they could do to help themselves is look in a mirror. Fraser then asks around the backlash of the situation, because there has been quite a bit of backlash on Oz Media's part, because obviously he's bringing everyone together to try and fight against someone who has very morally been inept. And even in like totally good situations, there is always this sort of bad thing that can come to the fore. Oz responded by saying, "The harassment, I know Blair had her fair share, but truth being, because of her actions, everyone involved with this has. The moment she swung at Legal Eagle, every creator who had prior relation got thrown into the spotlight as well. She acts as though we're dogpiling her, but she created a mess that everyone needed to deal with." This is unfortunately what happens on YouTube, because, well, you're complicit in a sense. If you look at it from the outside, you are a friend of Blair, and if you do not respond to it, if you don't acknowledge it, it's only gonna go bad on you. Oz obviously had very close previous relations, being her ex-boyfriend, so it really does make sense that, well, I've got to come out and respond. She has caused this palaver when she decided to go and attack at someone for plagiarism, when it was totally ironic for one, but also not true in the slightest. And it's very true that she does have this victim complex, and she can't get out of that herself, and it's embarrassing. Next up, Oz goes on to mention about the loyal supporter of Blair that has been following him around everywhere, having nearly 30 plus YouTube alt accounts and 10 plus Reddit accounts. What? I mean, you always see this in situations like this where you've got one adamant lover of the channel who will, despite everything going around them, just try and trash anyone that got in the way. And you got to kind of commend it a little bit. It's quite interesting. I mean, it's a bit sad in it, but that's something else. I will genuinely never understand why people do this. It's a waste of their time. It's a waste of everyone else's. Right, there's one person attacking him. Going on then to talk about the 3,000 chargeback that happened on his donation link, which is very unfortunate, as well as saying that the harassment is something that I've grown accustomed to, and certainly it takes a toll. The frustrating part about this is that I just can't come out swinging with everything because of how litigious Blair is. He kind of is stuck in a box a little bit because he's unable to get out and express himself how he wants to express himself because he is at the eyes of the law. And I don't mean that in any like illegal way. I just mean in the sense of he cannot actually come out and just be like, oh, this fucker, because it will come back to bite him in court, unfortunately. Oz then goes on to talk about the way that Illuminaughtii has literally drained every single amount of money that she can off of him. As for finances, it's been hell. While a lot of legal is covered thanks to the help of the audience, because I'm unable to upload on my main channel because of the pressures of producing parts 1 and 2, it's been putting a noticeable strain on my monthly income. If it wasn't for other projects and the generosity of my audience during streams, it would have been a lot harder. It's really good that Oz is managing to get at least the help that he can in this situation, and obviously the donation link, which I'll leave a link in the description, will help out a lot. But something like this is just going to absolutely drain everything around you, and it's a horrible thing. It really is. Like I said, I think Blair is trying to rinse him for everything that she can, including money, but also pride and the ability to actually become the YouTuber that he wants to be. It's so hard. She's had her career destroyed, and now she's turning around and she's like, well, I'm going to destroy yours too. And that's obviously not what's going to happen. It's not what has been happening. But I think that she's unable to get her channel back, so she's just shooting where she can. Also mentioning that the lawsuit is costing $10,000 a month, and that he has been as upfront as he can with his legal invoices, which I have seen that has happened. You can see it on his Twitter if you ever feel like that you don't know where the money's going. Obviously, 10 grand is so much every single month, $120,000 a year, which you might think because he's a YouTuber, he'll be earning bank, but that is not the case at all, especially when you got something like this eating at your pocket. Without the donation link and everything that has gone into that, there would be no chance for him. Honestly, there wouldn't. And then Oz goes on to echo something that I have said across the entirety of this situation, and also a lot of other commentators, in that I'm personally in the opinion that it's not about getting her channel back. If she wanted that, she could have done that a year ago. Instead, to me, this is about causing as much damage as she possibly can in a form of twisted retribution. And in my honest opinion, I believe that's the exact same thing. I do think that she is just trying to get what she can because she's lost so much money. Everything's leaked out. She's lost her channel. And now she's like, well, where do I go from here? We've seen in some of these situations that Illuminaughtii can be the type of person to be very vindictive and try and get back at people. Like, for example, getting Felixthekitkat to go and attack another YouTuber for the sake of $200 just so that she could get back at her own ego that has been tarnished by someone. She really doesn't care, even if she appears that she does. Fraser then goes on to ask Oz Media around the dismissal of the case because that's what the entire point of the original video was. And to that he's responded saying, I can't say much in terms of how disappointing the settlement talks went, but they proved to me that it's apparent that Blair, in my opinion, was unreasonable with her demands. She seems to be in the mindset that if she wins the lawsuit, the internet will come back to her with open arms. Either this or she wants to cause damage, as stated earlier. And I mean, he knows Blair a lot more than me, but I genuinely wouldn't believe that she is that psychotic in nature to believe that she can get back to normal. Like, nothing happened. I've been vindicated after exposing her content for exactly what it is. She's definitely watched a lot of the content that has been spewed out across your screens over the past year that have been slandering her in a sense, but in an experiential way. It's very evident to me that she is that person, so I think she knows that she's not getting her channel back, and I really think that does fester on her mind a little bit. And then as final closing thoughts, Oz states this: all I can say is that part 2 will release soon. There are several legal hoops I need to jump through first, and additionally, I've been selfish and taken a few weeks away from everything to give my partner time and care. Wow, that is, considering everything going on, the most selfish thing that you could ever do. It's not the wisest thing to do in this situation. I know everybody is on a waiting list, honest. It's still coming out. I've just been selfish. And first off, it's definitely not a selfish thing at all, considering it. It's not at all. You should really have holidays where you can, when you can, in any scenario, or you will go loopy. But on top of this, with everything going on and the fact that there is a little bit of a block period where you're not being attacked on this legal front every single day, it's very fine to go and do that. Also stating that they want to thank everyone for support, and when this is over, I'm looking forward to giving back to the world in every way that I can. I think I'll say for a lot of people that are watching this video, as well as people who are around the Oz Media circle, that you're very welcome. It's not really a justifiable thing of what you're being attacked for. It does seem like a very veiled threat that has ended up becoming actuality. In my opinion, I think Blair is completely just trying to sabotage you, and I mean, any way that we can help, it's appreciated, isn't it? The entire YouTube community is definitely on his side. I also will just quickly mention around the idea that, well, Iilluminaughtii, she might have gone off with her own channel. Main channel disappeared, second channel disappeared, but she has potentially got a new channel. This has been said by a lot of people, not only on Reddit, but also in the comments of my previous videos. And I mean, I just think it's a dud, honestly. The thing is with YouTube is that once you have it, you do have it. So she definitely has the capability to be able to go into different spheres or sects or genres of YouTube and produce new content that's better. Well, better, maybe. That might be too far of a stretch, if I'm honest. But especially with the emergence of AI, this sort of thing, she can put an easy dub on it and she can call it a day. And it potentially is something that she has done, but there has been some names thrown out around channels that she is potentially behind, and I really think, I think it's very, very obvious to me that if she was going to create a new channel that she does this new sort of stuff, she wouldn't be telling anyone. You wouldn't find out. We probably don't know. You might watch it. Everything will be so far away from her that it will be almost impossible to tell, and there'll be no way to find out. It's very easily done, but there is no concrete evidence after researching this to find any sort of way that she is potentially doing this, although I do think there is a very high potential that she is. But we're not going to be getting an expose of Illuminautti's new channel, because she will hide that very well, and it's intentional that she will hide it very well because of everything that's going on. She has totally destroyed her own name. And although I do think that she is clued on in that sense and it won't happen, she is very, very delusional in other sects of what she's doing, and I think she knows exactly what's going on, because I think we need a reminder of some of the pettiness that's within this lawsuit. One of the things that really did irk me in this situation initially was the anti-slap law, by saying that this is not a public issue, saying that the motion does not provide argument on this point except to assert that being a YouTube personality makes someone a public figure. Apparently the same way running for an elective public office would make that person a public figure. But media attention alone does not make one a public figure, nor are businesses per se public figures. And I find this a little snide, the way that she's done it, because she's essentially said, because it's the business, that it doesn't apply, and I'm not a public figure because I'm just a YouTuber. There's public interest in me. Yeah, there's 1 million people following you, but that doesn't mean that I have any sort of public interest around anything outside of my YouTube channel. Almost as if every single person who is against you is not understanding that. And so what? You're telling me that someone who is in public office that ends up doing something very terribly, they're not a public figure because of that dimension, that separation. It's not the work. And to me, the judge strike this down, but I just find it insane, the idea that she isn't a public figure, because if you look at for 1 second any of the YouTube videos that are covering her, they're on hundreds of thousands, millions of views, like all around the drama surrounding her. There is a lot of public interest into this situation. I don't see how a YouTuber veiled within a company or not is not a public figure, because if they do something that is morally inept, wrong, or stupid, they should be called out for it. So Blair is a public figure in my opinion, but according to the courts, at least at this stage, no, she isn't. But hopefully that changes. But I also do think it's very true that she is trying to get at people in a very vindictive of way to try and get rid of the past controversies. Oh, you've hit me, so I'm going to hit you twice as hard. And it's even more notable in the Felix the Kit Kat part of the case. Mentioning that Felix the Kit Kat manages to destroy the confidentiality agreement, which you can see here. Basically saying that Felix the Kit Kat had an NDA for sharing this to Legal, which is around the $200 to find dirt on someone, which is just so funny. The levels of grift that these sort of losers will go to actually does astound me at points, I won't lie. To try and dig dirt up on Click for saying the arsler. The court ended up denying the motion, and the reason why actually does really confuse me. Because the entire point around this is that Felix the Kit Kat was an employee of Blair at the time when he released this, therefore breaking the NDA that was set up. But these DMs were sent way before that. Felix was working with Blair, and that's very obvious, and you can see that obviously with the actual screenshots. Like, she's asking him to do work, but they were not employed by Blair at the time, so there was no NDA about it because it didn't exist. So this is going to be going to court, and obviously, very obviously, it's going to get proven wrong when we get to court, but this is going to court because of that fact, and I don't get it at all. All you need to do is match the dates up and realize, oh, well, Felix isn't part of this then, so it wasn't an NDA breach, so we can go away from it. But obviously not, and I don't get it. And I don't know why Blair's trying to fight this, because it's a losable battle, and it's a very losable battle. Felix isn't a creator. Felix is a very small person on Twitter, got less than 1,000 followers. Like, this is not a very important person in the social aspects of it if you want to try and vindicate yourself. Felix is just a previous worker of Blair, and because she's been slighted, she's now trying to go on the attack, and it's so embarrassing, innit? It's like the most prime example of cutting off your tongue to spite your face. Also, with the way that she is attacking us by, at the end of these sort of lawsuit back and forth, she was starting to go on around, well, he's doing this just to spite me. The whole reason why he defamed me was because I cheated on him, and he found out by going through my computer. Maybe you just shouldn't have cheated on him, Blair. It's not exactly like you're a looker, is it? But yeah, saying that he tried to find a way to exact revenge, which is so funny, because it's not only that, it's so ironic because that's exactly what she is doing here. This entire lawsuit is made up with the intention of doing that, of to exact revenge on being wrongfully done for. Even though you've not been wrongfully done for, Blair. But the thing that I said earlier is probably the biggest, most annoying thing. It's the fact of trying to blame all three of these people for every single thing that has happened in the downfall. Not the fact that the downfall was actually initiated by yourself when you said that someone had plagiarized you when they didn't. The fall of her ego is just embarrassing. It's so sad, and it really makes you think, doesn't it? It really makes you think about the power dynamics. The second that someone gets a lot of fame, a lot of attention, does it go to the red? Yeah. It's very obvious to me that Blair really does just want to attack Oz Media. She just wants to get rid of him. What he's done is he's come out and he's exposed Blair for what she is as a person, and then in retaliation, she's just trying to throw the kitchen sink at it. I don't think Blair actually believes anything that she's saying at this point. I think she's trying to highlight the very small problems that are going on and trying to make them seem worse. In realist terms, what has happened is she's started a YouTube channel, it started doing really well, she got very lazy with it, and then once it all got exposed and started to crumble, she started panicking. And when she saw an open door in someone that she did know trying to attack her, she went for it for the bleachers, and it's so sad. Iilluminaughtii had one of the biggest falls from graces that I've ever seen on YouTube, because she really did have a lot of it at her feet. She was banging views, she was doing so well that a lot of people liked her, and then she made one stupid tweet and it all ended. I think we all have a lesson or two to learn about the kind of person that Blair can be, and also the kind of person that we can be, and try and improve on our lives. Because honestly, don't be a Blair. But so far, that's all I've got for you. So if you enjoyed the video, please do hit the like and sub. I would love to see you back. I've been Jake Baz, and I'll see you later. Take care.